what you're going through
or what you have been through.
Thank God
it's fabulous. I'm Welda Paley.
And I'm Fasia Hilton.
Welcome.
Thank God it's fabulous.
Male nurses.
Patient comfort, values, and beliefs.
Thank God it's fabulous. What is cancer? What is your perception of cancer?
Well, today our guest will be sharing her story on living with cancer.
Thank God it's fabulous.
Friendship. What is a true friend? He's my friend. She's my friend. Can a male and a female be true friends?
What are the benefits of friendship? Are there true friends with benefits or not? How do you know somebody is a friend? What are the criteria? What are the requirements to have a friend?
Thank
God it's fabulous.
Well, today we are going to be talking about career choices.
Do you make career choices based on your habits, or things you love, or what's trending, or what would be your livelihood?
Is it going to be vocational or is it going to be higher education? What's your choice?
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Good
Thank
evening.
God
It's
is fabulous. I'm Welda Paley.
And I'm Fasia Hilton.
Well, welcome to another presentation of Thank God is Fabulous. You know, we've been going through a series of discussion because as we understand our world today, a lot of our sexual immoralities come from sex. So it's good for us to have an understanding of what sex is. And a lot of times, a ways of a man in his own eyes is correct. But then we relate it back to the Bible and see what does the Bible says about it so we can check ourselves. The last two topics, the first one was
God's intent for sex.
God's intent for sex. And we have two powerful women of God here who help her understand that the purpose for sex was for procreation and pleasure. So then we're like, okay, if it's for procreation and pleasure, then we're looking good. But then they made it clear that pleasure they're talking about is in marriage.
Exactly.
When a man and a woman come together to form a union in the sight of God, that union is what the purpose of that procreation is supposed to happen. That was serious because now we realize that's not how we see it on this side.
Not at all. And there's so many people that are not doing it the right way. I mean, so many of us, we are all guilty of that. And she also said, don't be a tester.
Yes.
Meaning, don't go around trying to test to see
what a man look like down there. Because one of the concerns that women have for men was, what if he's not the size that I want? And she said, you don't have to test him, as we have been testing the word today. And the common saying is, I don't want to buy pig in the bag.
Right.
But she said that you don't have to buy the pig in the bag, neither do you have to test. All you have to do is look at their hands, look at their nose, and look at their mouth. And you will know what the size you're looking for. So don't go around testing, just look at those features and it will help to guide you. And pray about it.
Pray about it, yes.
And you know, the Lord will lead you. Because everything we do, we should not do it without God. And that's one of the biggest problems we have today. We do things, make decisions, everything without God. And at the end of the day, we have to run back to him and say, oh, Papa, please help us. But you should have gone to him first to even help you make the decision concerning the partner. But we know how that is. We don't do all that. We just, go ahead
and do a man's way first.
I fell in love.
When thing goes bad, then we ask God.
Yes.
Instead of doing it in the reverse, asking him first.
Yes. We always make him last on our agenda. And then when things fall out of place, then we go back to him. So then with that understanding, we move to the next topic. The next topic was man's interpretation of God's plan. Because when you understand a plan, you can apply it as should be. But when you don't understand the plan, you can't apply it as should be. So now they came back and they educated us, because a lot of the questions that were being asked is, how do the man, what was one of the main highlights that they talk about on that one?
Well, let me look here and see, but let's talk about today. I will get back to that question. Let's talk about today.
So today we're going to go to part 3 of this discussion. How do men understand this whole sex thing? What do they think about it? Because it's two people that's involved in this whole plan of God, man and woman. So today we're talking to men, and next Friday we'll be talking to women. What are they on the understanding about it? Because it's one thing to know it as God has intended it. It's another thing to understand it as God intended it. And it's another whole thing to apply it. If you don't understand it, you go apply it, you're looking for trouble, because things will not go according to plan. So that's another thing we have to look at. And then another place we come to find out, sex has been taken so lightly because of the pleasure part. We forget about the purpose part. We go to strictly to the pleasure part. No,
So
I'll send you the
going on,
link. I can send you
one
the
of
link
the questions
so you
people
can call
talked
in,
about asked
so you can be on my
last week
phone.
was about the same gender,
All right.
and Pastor V elaborated on that last week about same gender.
Yes. So that was another one that we talk about the different kind of things that happen in sex. Man, woman, man, woman, and so many different things. But all of it at the end of the day, God's plan is the most important part. Are we in alignment with God's plan? And that's where we want to be. If we're not in alignment with God's plan, we know we're going to get ourselves into trouble. So we want to make sure whatever we do, we are in alignment with God's plan. And we want to make sure that everything else is in line so that we don't dishonor him or dishonor ourselves. So today we're going to be talking to our men. So right now we got two of our guests in studio. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. I got two persons already coming from Liberia. You know how the condition can be. So I'm going to bring Joe in studio first so he can do his thing and then get out before Liberia Internet start doing Liberia Internet things. So at this time, I'm going to bring to screen Mr. Joe Miller. Joe, you are so welcome. Can you hear us?
Okay, I am clear.
Loud and clear. We can hear you loud and clear too.
Welcome, Joe.
Welcome so much. So at this time, we're just gonna ask you so you can talk to us. So, just so at the end of the day, when Liberia buffer system start, you don't get lost because we don't want to lose you. Okay. So I'm also going to go ahead and bring Amos in studio, and then welcome, Mr. Barrett. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And I will just go ahead and bring in Shawa because Shawa is coming here to make a joke about what he has encountered when it comes to men and sex. He's going to make his joke and then he's going to leave. So Shawa, I'm going to bring you first. And then after that, I'm going to have Joe, you introduce yourself, and then Amos will introduce himself. So Shawa, please introduce yourself and go to your joke.
Hi, John Shawa Stevens here. So we're talking about sex and, sometimes understanding misinterpretation. I just got a joke real quick. So I had just immigrated to the United States of America. About my first 2 weeks here, I went to visit my sister at her job, and then during her break, and then I was leaving. My sister called me. She was like, "Whoa, Shawa, you gotta admire her here. One of my American friends said she like you and all of that." It was my first 2 weeks. I said, "Well, I mean, I knew. I don't know what." She said, "I got everything. I'm gonna hook it up." She's hook it up. The girl is gonna come and pick you up, and you're going to date. So my first 2 weeks, the second Saturday, I'm on my first American date, right? So she came, she picked me up. We're going. She said we're going somewhere to eat. Things going cool. She asking me questions about Africa. Things going smoothly. Then she looked at me kind of sneaky way. She said, "Can I ask you something?" I'm like, "Go ahead. We all adults here." She was like, "Do Africans eat coochie?" Now put yourself in my situation. I just came from Africa. Terminologies are different. We going on a date. I'm thinking it's some kind of food. I had a preconceived notion from Africa that people don't put a whole lot of pepper in their food here. So I put all that together. I say, yes, but I got to put a whole lot of pepper on it. She got mad. She got mad and pulled off to the side, going off. And "Oh, what are you talking about? I was just joking." She went ahead and called my sister. And then my sister said, "Get a phone to him." Turn the phone to me. And then my sister was, "What's going on, Shawa?" I was explaining to my sister. My sister was like, "No, She's not talking about no food shower. So my sister told me what the terminology we use in Africa. So I said, oh, I'll take care of it. I hand the phone over. I told her, I said, let's just call her Taisha. I said, Taisha, I'm sorry, man. I've been here this is my second week in America. I didn't know what you were talking about. But to answer your question, we Africans don't like to talk about stuff like that. Talk about eating goat head on the first date. She was like, I'm not taking you to eat no goat. And then she caught up with it. You calling my shit goat head? She went off cursing. She said, what? That date is over. I'm taking you back. So there's the misunderstanding. She was talking about something different. I was thinking about something different. So she was like, this date is over. I'm taking you back. And then I said, but I don't know what you're getting mad about. I'm the one eating it because I'm still thinking about she's talking about food. All right. So she called one of her friends and she was explaining the stuff to her friend, one of her American friend. One of that, I think the friend was the little freaky one. She was like, girl, I have tried a whole lot of things in my day. That might just be it. And they laugh about it. And then eventually we went on a date. Everything was smooth and all of that. But man, understanding. Sometimes people got misunderstanding. So you got to be clear what you want.
Yes.
So that's my joke about that. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, Shawa. And it's true, misunderstanding can lead to a whole lot of things.
A whole lot of problems.
So that's what today we want to see, how men understand a whole lot of things. So thank you so much, Shawa.
All right, I'm out.
All right. So Mr. Amos, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Amos Barrett. This is my second appearance on the show, so I'm happy to be back on. The show is hosted by my mom and my auntie, and I just I'm happy to be here, happy to share my input.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you see, this is what I was saying about the Liberia connection. You go in and come out. So Joe is missing right now. So soon as he come back in, we'll let him come on. But Amos, why are you here? When you hear sex, what comes to your mind?
Well, nowadays, that's like when I hear sex, I feel like it's something that I want to take my time with, because I don't just want to be spreading myself with just any and everybody, because I feel like people get the wrong impression, they get the wrong idea about you. I feel like people are quick to judge you depending on how you look at it. So personally, I'd rather take my time. I feel like it's a spiritual connection. I want to be connected to that person in more ways than just sex. I want us to have an actual bond, an actual friendship. I feel like people lose themselves when it comes to sex. It's like you won't value, I don't know, some people don't value it as much as others. Some people value it more than others. But I feel like it's something that's supposed to be sacred, in my opinion. And it's a powerful thing. So I feel like it's something that we shouldn't play around with.
I like the fact that you said you want to take your time and don't just want to spread yourself, and it is a spiritual connection, not just a physical connection, because nowadays people see sex as just that physical connection.
Yeah.
And it is so much deeper than that. You are giving a part of yourself to this other individual. I think last week or the week before, that we talked about the chart where if you sleep with one person, you've slept with one. If you sleep with two people, you've slept with three, and then so on. If you sleep with 5 people, you've slept with almost 60 something people.
Yeah.
Because that means that you've slept with that person and the person they slept with and the person that person slept with, and it's just a revolving door.
Yep.
So I like the fact that you are taking it seriously and saving yourself.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're doing. You don't know what that other person is doing.
So true.
So you have to be very mindful and try to protect yourself. So I applaud you for that, Amos.
Thank you.
So I got another question for you, Amos, that you are doing everything on your end to take care of yourself and prepare for this meet when that meet happen. How do you know when you meet that person? How you going to get to that level?
I think that's where the communication comes into play at. It's like when we first meet, I don't think anybody knows how it's gonna play out unless that's your only intention. So
Okay.
if that's your intention and the person is on the same page, then I guess to each his own. Then that's the page that both of you are at. But I feel like when you know is because you taking your time to communicate that with that person. I feel like it's something that if you jump right into it and you both are talking about it, you can get an understanding right away. Like, okay, this is something that's either going to happen fast or it's going to happen slow or it's not going to happen at all. So I think that it's about communication. And sometimes you just get a feel for the person. You know what your boundaries are, and you kind of get their body language too. I know that body language is a big part of communication, so it's like sometimes you can tell before you even have the conversation how it's gonna go, just because of that person's body language.
All right. Thank you so much, Amos. At this time, Joe is back, so we're gonna let Joe introduce yourself, and then we're just gonna go. Oh, Joe is gone. Yeah, this Liberia connection is tough. Well, we'll wait till he come back in. But that's so true, like you said. You know, it's a discussion. But let me ask you this other question in regards to God's intervention and what you've known so far growing up, that this is God's plan, God's way. What do you think about that aspect, including God in the picture when it comes to sex?
Personally, I feel like that's probably the most important thing about it, is including God into that decision making, because it's like if you just go throwing yourself out there spiritually and sexually, I feel like they can get very mixed up, and then when they get mixed up, you end up losing yourself in some way, some shape or form. So I feel like if you have a connection with God yourself, then you want to make sure that you know where that other person stands with their spiritual connection with God and their relationship. And then you see how you two can have chemistry with that. And if that's something that you both value, if that's something that you both feel strongly about, then you put that first. I know some people like to make a rule about stuff like that. And I think that's a good thing, at least to have some kind of standard instead of just, okay, my temptation is taking over from me this time, so I'm just going to do whatever comes or whatever happens. So I think that you have to have some kind of standard. I feel like you should know where that person stands in their relationship with God, and then see how it kind of adds up with yours.
Have you ever been in a situation where you were tempted and you had to get yourself out or get yourself in? How did you do it if you ever got to that point?
Me, whenever I'm tempted, I'm usually more conservative. Like if I feel like something might not go the right way, then I always kind of back out. So in the past, I feel like I have been tempted, and I always just kind of take a step back, because I always feel like if you rush into stuff like that, there's no second chances. You don't get a do-over. So I'd rather take my time,
Exactly.
to miss out, if that's the right way of putting it, instead of like feeling forced or feeling rushed, or just out of fear of making the wrong decision. So personally, I always just kind of take my time. If it's meant to be, it'll be, is how I look at it.
Okay, thank you so much, Amos. At this time, we also have Derek in studio, so we'll just go ahead and add him to screen. Derek, you are welcome. Mr. Myers got a camera pointing to the ceiling. Joe again. All right, Mr. Myers, please introduce yourself.
Hello, guys. My name is Derek Myers.
Okay, Derek. The question on the floor right now that we've asked our other guests is, what do you think about sex?
Oh, one of the questions that Liberians or people in our society or community don't like to talk about right
Yeah.
there. Sex is a way of expressing oneself, especially for us single men. I think that it's a way of showing love. So a lot of Liberians will tell you, I love you, and oh, I love that girl, but they're actually talking about sex. So for us, yeah, sorry guys, I had an appointment today, I forgot. But for us, sex, we don't value sex like how most civilized people are supposed to value sex. You know, when you have sex with somebody, you're kind of sharing or giving a lot. And a lot of people don't know that.
I think with the movement on his
Yeah.
so let me go to Joe. Okay. Joe, can you hear me?
You guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay.
Yeah, internet is fading in and out.
Oh, I was leaving the Wi-Fi and I was kind of switching there with.
Okay.
Yeah. So for me, my personal opinion for sex is that I only have sex with people or someone that I value as my equal, somebody that have certain things to offer me, not only sexually, not only the sexual intercourse, but you should have something to offer me in the sense that if somebody points out and say, oh, Derek, that girl has sex, or Derek, that girl love you should have something value that represents me, so that's just me. But mostly in our Liberian community, we don't respect sex, and that's why you see most of us are single.
So you're saying most of you are single because you don't respect sex?
Yeah, but imagine.
He brought up a very interesting
If you want to be with somebody and Derek got about 13 body count already, all over the place, what kind of decent woman would want a guy who been with at least 13, 14, different women and have maybe about 7, 8 different children by 7 different women, unless you are really desperate and sometimes, maybe that person has some value on themselves, but nobody wants that. I don't want a woman who been with at least 30 different men.
Yes, Eric. You said that sex means a lot to you. It's something that you value, and when you do have that relationship with a female, it's someone that values you, that you value, and that has some of the same characteristics that you have, and that is a very valid point. Because like we said, nowadays people just, they see somebody today and tomorrow or today, they go have at it. And it is deeper than that. That's where self-respect comes in. That's where your morals, your values comes into play.
So Derek, in relationship to God and sex, how do you look at the two of them?
It's not because I don't want to look like it, because I respect a lot and I want to respect the person.
So Derek, your movement is interfering with the network.
Yeah, I'm about to stop now.
Are you hearing us, Derek?
Yeah, I'm back now.
Okay.
So the question was, how do you see God in sex?
Guys who have, do you know that a lot of guys, hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah. There are a lot of insecure men in the Liberian community. So at the end of the day, they think that, using sex, makes them feel, kind of superior. So they have multiple sexual partners. And it makes them feel good. Because everywhere they go, they want somebody to say, oh, I did what I do. And on that said, this is one of the most irresponsible states I ever lived in, because I've been thinking that maybe most of the guys are not my age group guys. Outside with a group of guys who are literally discussing a girl. And I'm sitting there going like, oh, because you had sex with her, it means that she's cheap. Now I understand.
Derek, your volume is low and you're kind of grinding. Can you go off and come back on? This way we'll pick up the network.
Wow.
So guys, today we are back to the topic. This is series number 3, Man Interpretation of Sex and God's Intent. Viewers, please feel free to call in with your interpretation or whatever comments you have. Is our next viewer in? Our next guest?
No, he's struggling here in the network on it. They're going in and out. So there is an Isaac Ajiman saying, I am new, I need a friend. I don't know what you need a friend for, but the question here today is sex. So if you're needing a friend for sex, I don't know, is that where you're going? Then you need to answer the question. How do you see sex? What is your understanding of it? How do you feel about it in relations to God's plans concerning it? So, Mr. Isaac, the question is out there to you if you're listening. So, well, it's tough. If you listen to our first 2 guests who spoke about how they see sex as a man, because a lot of time women don't get to understand it from the man's point. We get inside and then we start being friends. But how do men think? How do men feel about sex before getting into it? Some men are very conservative. Like you heard Amos, he said he's very conservative. He will read your body language. He will get to know you before you even discuss that, because he's not coming to you because he wants that. He's coming to know you, get to be your friend. But we know not all men come like that. Some of them tell you hello, and the next thing they tell you you're beautiful, you know there's a problem. Because they're on a whole different level. So, gentlemen, if you're out there and you're listening to the show, you can call in and help us understand from a man's perspective how you see sex.
Because it's totally different.
It's different for women.
We are emotional.
Yep.
Men are physical.
Yep.
So for us, well, we will discuss that next Friday. But
yeah, next Friday
for us,
is the women's.
It's not, and I mean you can vouch for that.
Okay.
For women, it is not just right now, So let's go have relation.
I know.
It starts from the morning. You have to build up that momentum.
Okay, Fasia, let me just hold your thought there. Since we get Joe, let's see what we can get out of Joe before we lose him again. Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm getting you.
Okay, please tell us, what do you think about sex? When you hear sex, what comes to your mind?
All right. First, let me say thank you very much for affording me the opportunity to be on your platform. And let me say thanks to our many listeners. The issue about sex is good, to have sex and enjoyable to have sex. He said,
Dude, let me see if I get back. If it will be.
Oh, my head. I'm sorry. Yeah,
No, if I get back online.
I got you.
Joe going Derry back. This is tough. All right, Derek, the question to you was, when it comes to God and sex, how do you see the two?
God. Can you repeat the question, please?
Derek, are you hearing us?
What was the question? Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, when it comes to God, knowing God and his intention for mankind, in that light and sex, how do you look at the two when you're thinking sex and you're thinking God? How do you put it together?
For for one fact, sex is purely for reproduction, and what God.
We're not getting you, Derek. But while trying to get him back, Amos, let me ask you a question. Where does sexual desire start for men? And the point I'm getting at is, in my opinion, for men are visual. Okay, so they get aroused by seeing things. Women are emotional. You know, we want to hear, we want the compliments, we want you to show us.
Okay.
Okay, and tell us. So in your view, tell us from a man's perspective, where does sexual desire start for men?
So I think that it starts right away. Like, I think that men can look at a woman just because it is of the physical aspect. We can look at a woman and be like, oh yeah, that's somebody I would want to have sex with. But then it's like, just like how you said that it has to be built up where it, you know, with the compliments and all that good stuff. I feel like it's the same way in the reverse for men, where a woman can become less attractive to a man because of the way she is, because of the way she acts, because of the things that she says. That can actually be a reason why a guy could go from wanting to have sex with a woman to not wanting to have sex with a woman, is once they start to find out more about her. It's almost like the more she says, the more chance she has to say something that will make us unattracted. So I feel like it's just kind of all about that chemistry. It's all about how attractive that person is to the other person. To answer the question, though, I think it starts in the very beginning. I don't think it takes much to get a man to want to have sex with a woman, but I feel like it can also go away very, very quickly.
Oh, that's deep.
Yes. Yes, I mean, this is a young man, you know, that this is very deep, and it's true, you know, and it's
and you know, I've never really heard that before.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought once they see the girl and they like the girl, is on until they're happy. They will not keep they will stay on the chase until they get what they want. But he's saying no. If you know, we can be having a conversation, you say certain thing, and I'll be like, I'm not interested no more. You know.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Wow. All right, we got Joe back again. Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm getting just the network is very bad from my end. Yeah, so I'm finding it too difficult to get through.
Okay, we're listening to you now. Go for it.
Okay, so like said sex is important and sex is very good for us. Because if you just look at the Bible, when God made Adam and Eve from the garden, wherein they have to eat the apple, and then God they have to know from the very self that they were naked, and God began to. So just to tell you that the sex is very, very important to us. So we as our young people are bachelor, because whenever you marry, you have the a restriction on the sex. So we as now valuing sex in as a young people, as a bachelor, we are now valuing sex. So we have sex any kind of way we want to have sex, any kind of way. But if you are a married man or married woman, you have there's a way that you have the sex in everybody, your relationship that you in will enjoy you in having sex with in or okay. So that's what makes sex to be important. Are you getting?
Okay, so well, at least if every question we can ask, then he can talk it, then he go off. That would be okay.
Derek, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay, so we asked Amos this question. Where does sexual desire start with men or with you? And I gave him the example that, for most men it's visual, and for most women it's emotional. So what is your take on that?
Yes, he's right. Most men is visual because men sees, and most
Your
of
volume is very low. Your volume is low.
Yes, up now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, for men it's visual because we see and we know we see what we like and we want to do it. We don't. It's not based on emotions. Emotion kicks in when there's love or when there's the extra connection that I talked about come in. But if you let men, they will just have sex with you and move on and don't even think about it. Some married men will actually have premarital or not premarital, but have marital sex outside, extramarital sex, and it's not even going to bother them at all because it's not something that is tied to our emotions. It's literally tied to what we can see, and that's it.
Funny that you bring that up. How it has always been, what's the adjective I want to use? I don't understand how men, I don't want to say you guys, how men can sleep with another woman. They have their significant other or their wife, and they can sleep with someone else and come home and act as though everything is okay, nothing happened. I don't understand that. Or have more than one significant other.
It's very easy for men. It's like a job, right? You go to job, like some of us work in hospital, people die on you. People get sick. Sometimes you go in, like a police officer, he will kill somebody, but he still goes to his wife or goes to his family and not even get one slight thought to put a gun on his family. But he gets on the street, his first instinct is to go. See, that's men. We were built in a way that we can drop us things easily. You see, and until you can have that compassion, maybe you have a lot of sisters, or maybe you grew up with your mother, then you can start understanding that, it's not all about me as a man. You start putting other people's feelings before yours. But in level, just the way men are, we can literally have sex with 10, 15 different women in a day and still go back to our wife and find a way to have sex with our wife.
And this is a problem. It's a serious problem with men.
But you have to understand, though, we're in a society right now that women now knows that men are all about I want to see. So literally look around you. Women are walking the street half naked. We got strip club in every corner you turn. And they know that they put that there because when men sees that, they're like, oh, okay, I'm going to go see. And most of the women wear clothes like I was telling the other girl, why you wear the clothes that you look like when somebody ties sour milk in a plastic bag? It's so tight. Everything is just shown. Everything is. She said because if you see it, like you come for it. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Ah, right. So you look around you, people wear leggings, and leggings normally supposed to be like an underwear. You know, those days women they wear the leggings and they wear the skirt or whatever dress they wear over, they wear the leggings on them. But now leggings. Just take a time and go to the gym, and then you will understand that and being the man that we are, some of us who are single, we will look, but you kind of want to be respectful of the person too, so you kind of just glance and want to look over, but something in your head keeps telling you look over there, something there. Look. Something keeps telling you look over there. Just turn your head a little bit, and you keep throwing your eye like you want to try to avoid it. I literally had to walk away from the gym today because I was walking out to a place that 3 women came there, and I was like, you know what? Let me respect it and just go because it looked weird. Every minute you just have to glance over. You gotta keep trying to avoid contact.
Something tells you look over there.
Yeah, and. Sorry to say, there's a lot of Liberian men or African men all about, the yansh, the ass or the butt. But for me, it's not about that, I don't know. So for men, I would say this, a lot of men are different when it comes to selecting wives. You can get the funniest body in the world. And take this from me, right? You see that a lot of people say, but how can the ugly get married? It's that girl that probably medicine she using. Oh, baby, she got money, she taking care of that person. No. You got men, every man got certain features on a woman that they look for. And if you get that feature, that man would go head over heels for you. No matter what people see, he's looking at just that. And if that could be the eyes, some men it could be the breasts. Some men, it could be just your nails. Some men, it's just your feet. Like, I don't like women that got muscles on their feet. If you're a muscular woman, nothing wrong with that. But it's just not mine on a cup of tea, So, I don't like bald-headed women, So, all women who eat their nails, It's just, those little things for me, it's like, when you do that, it's just like, no,
It's a turn off for you.
Yeah, it's a no, And I'm not judging you, but it's just mine on a cup of tea,
And that's amazing because women always say men are physical. But you hear him naming different things that can turn them on or turn them off. So even though the physical, you can be dressed, built nicely, and you eating your nail, you out of there, boy. You ain't dealing with that. No. Can you imagine that? And a woman will not understand this. She will just be looking at the way she look and the way she dressed. She's not even taking a note of her fingernail because that's the smallest thing on her mind. And look at the man all the way. Wow.
It's the whole package.
It's like
it's the whole. Now the biting nails, because some people that's a bad habit that they do, but
very bad habit. And I used to do it, but then people who bite their nails, they will always tend to have common cold, or they will always have some kind of mouth disease. They don't know where it's
No, I beg the difference.
Dang, that's not true.
No, it's not true. That is just a thought process. No.
Do you know that every day we hold door handles, we open car doors, or we go into buildings, we come out? Not every minute you
germs. You think there's germs? Yes, but the mouth has a lot of germs.
The mouth has a lot of germs.
Yeah, for the food we eat too. That one, but it's just something that's just weird. I'm not germophobic or anything, but it's just something I just don't like. Imagine some women when you see the pepper jar, you say you gotta look twice before you think that's a woman, especially when you're looking from the back and they're wearing shorts. They got a pepper jar that is so big, and you're like, oh my God, no.
The muscle behind your foot. All right, that's a good one. I think you're gonna ask Joe the same question.
So Joe, we're asking, why is it that a man cannot be satisfied with just one person.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, poor Joe.
Joe is having technical difficulties. So, Amos, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
From a man's perspective, why is it that men, how, I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, to ask this question. Why is it that one is not enough? And how do you guys manage to go on as though it is a norm? When you have a significant other at home that you are serious with, but yet still you have one here, and sometimes there can be two in the same state.
I think that's exactly what it is. It's like, I feel like that a big factor in that is the stage that the man is at in his life. It's like if it's a younger guy and he still hasn't really found himself yet, he's still trying to figure things out in life, there's a small chance that he knows what he wants when it comes to a woman. So maybe one can have all of the good qualities that he likes in a woman, right? So he likes her for that. The other one, she could just be sexy to him, so he likes her for that. The other one, she may just be so much of a challenge that he can't see himself giving up, so he has to keep chasing her. Maybe the other one, she got money, so he's trying to go get some money from her. So I feel like there's a lot of different things when you don't know what you want that can make you want to go be with somebody for a man. It's like you're still trying to figure out what you like. So I think that in that mindset, all your options are open. But I feel like once you start to figure out more what you want, like, okay, this is where I'm headed in life, this is the direction that I want to take, then you start to narrow down your options, and you don't want to risk losing that person because of the fact that you know they fit into the kind of lifestyle that you see for yourself. But I also think that society plays a big role in that too. Let's say you're a single guy and all your friends are single. It's going to be hard to get into a relationship if all you know is single guys is always talking about different girls. I feel like that's one thing that probably doesn't get looked at enough, but it's hard to be the outsider in a setting like that. Or if all your friends are in a relationship and you're the single guy, then you're going to be wanting to get in a relationship too, because everybody that's around you is in a relationship. I feel like the way that people look at themselves when they go out, let's say you're like a bachelor of the year, everybody's going to be expecting you to be in a relationship. Like, you're so qualified. Why don't you have a relationship? And then it kind of it influences your decisions. Like, maybe I should hurry up and find somebody. And then maybe the things that you value, you start to value them less. But to answer the question, I really feel like that decision making just comes from what stage you're at in life. I feel like it can change depending on where you see yourself and where you want to be.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. That, he said men, most times it could be they don't know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be immaturity as well.
Yeah.
Because you could have someone that has it all, but yet and still you're going out there. You're cheating.
Okay, can I say something to that?
Yes.
You see, our society, our Liberian society, tend to think that married people, it means when you marry me, you're responsible. When you are not married, you're irresponsible, or you don't know what you want. In most cases, I will tell you that's not true. You see, one of the problems that women need to understand, you can be the best woman in the world. There are other women, there are other qualities other women possesses, especially when it comes to sex in bed. There are women who do Kegel exercises, and when you have sex with them, you will be amazed at the things they can do. And there are other women, people want to talk about sex, but they don't want to talk about the actual sex. The sex that we're talking about is, oh man, a woman lay down, cover herself with bed sheet, and have sexual intercourse. They don't move from there. But there are people who do extra things in bed, be it sucking, be it inviting other women in their marital home for pleasure, or be it asking for anal sex, be it so many toys, introducing toys in the sexual life. So these things, some men like them. So now imagine I was with my ex, and she invited me or introduced me to all these other extra things that sex is not even supposed to be about. Now I'm addicted to it. Then I meet my wife. This is a woman with high quality, high standard, very respectable woman, hard working, beautiful. But I met her. She said, look, you want to have sex? Let me take a shower. We turn all the light. We do what we're supposed to do. We'll go to bed. And, okay. And we just do that. You know, when we do one round, when I'm trying to go two, she said, look, man, I got to sleep. I got to go to work tomorrow morning. And I think that, you know, and I'm so used to these other things, these plenty things that are extra things. She don't know. And because I respect my wife, I don't want to discuss it. What she said, but wait, hold on, what's going on here? Now it becomes a problem. Guess what happened? You see a lot of men now will be cheating. They start looking for extra things out. You see now, they are secretly gay. You know, they are on the down low, but they were the woman of their dream. And people say that you can't be born gay or this and that. But this man is married, but he's having sex with other men outside. So it's not about being married and being responsible, or not married means that you're irresponsible, or you don't care, you just want to be having random sex around. No, there are a lot of factors that play in there, and if we can see it, you look at single men and say they are irresponsible. But then when you see the married man behave, you say, oh, well, wait, what's going on here? That's just what I want to do.
Thank you so much, Derek. And you went into a lot of areas that are causing a lot of problems for so many people. But at the end of the day, like you all are saying, you got to find that woman. And then whatever qualities you're looking for is where you go from. Joe, how long do we have you for? Can you just go on the question?
Huh?
Oh, Joe. Joe, you can
Hello?
hear me? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, now it's very poor. I don't know what's going on.
I know, my dear. You in
Hello?
Miami.
Oh.
That's why.
Yeah, I hear you.
What was the question for you?
Oh, he can answer anyone. Why is it that men are not satisfied with just one?
Hello?
Yeah,
person?
Joe, the question is, why is it that men is not satisfied with one woman?
Joe?
Oh, the reason is simple. Because the first thing is that you have your hello?
We can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Okay, so everyone has a
Joe is having some network issues.
Oh, poor Joe. He so wanted to be here to express this thing. But anyway, we tell him thank you for trying because the connection is still. But you know, our time is so fast spent with all the network engagement today. We've almost come to the end of this discussion. And a lot of women are watching because they wanted to, you know, hear a lot of things from the men to put them on their guide. So they can go about seeing what happened next. But you throw a lot of light on a lot of things, Derek, especially when it comes to marital affairs and all the things that can happen that cause men to cheat. You know, if these people are visual people and they want to see things and they want a specific kind of things that happen to them and the woman that the guy can't give it to them, well, there they go, looking for it all in the other places.
Well, you know, Derek, he said all the things that can cause them to cheat, you know, but from listening to him, he didn't communicate his likes
at the beginning
to his wife. So if you like these things, why didn't you tell her that you like these things? She's not a magician. She doesn't know. I'm just being a devil advocate here. You
Or
know,
maybe she more kinky than you
communication
think. You
is the
just
key.
don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe she's shy. But once you tell her, then you guys can discuss and she can tell you her likes and her dislikes.
And that's what I was saying. Like before you marry somebody, that's why these days we don't even do the right thing. So we jump from A straight to Z now. So hi, how you doing? You look beautiful. What you doing tonight? Nothing. You wanna come over? Yeah, sure. You're already in bed. But if it was actually what we used to do, you would get to know this person, get for a while, and then maybe you'll decide to go forward with your relationship and take it to another level. But if it comes to sex, do you know that some people can really pretend when you like a woman, they can pretend because they feel like, especially men, if I am a freak, I meet a woman, I don't want to scare her off.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to scare her off. Especially an African woman, then I'm talking about, let's have anal sex. Let's bring some toys. Hey, I got dildo. Let's go get some dildo. She looking at you like, wait, who is this human being? Yeah, and she about to be gone. And you just doing too much. So at times it's not like they don't communicate it, but it's like that shame and that shaming. That man may be gay. When you're having sex, like he got some gay tendency. So people tend to hide their true self sexually and bring the ones that people will accept. That's
true.
That's a good man there. I mean, a good man. They'll go in the room, he kiss you, he will rub you, and do them. But that man got deeper demonic side in him that you will not allow. America spoiled most of us because we come in the country, we were exposed to porn, we were exposed to internet, we got exposed to the people who were living, we met here because they had a different sexual lifestyle. So we got exposed to all these things, and now people are doing way too much. Some people can be taking medicine, for them to get extra huge. I remember Somalian girl. She had a surgery because somebody told her that she was too extra, and she had a surgery to sew up. So we are doing too much. We do too much. There are men who you gotta be careful. The men you come around, you watch them. There are some men you have intercourse with them. As soon as you get wet, they get cloth and try to wipe you off. They don't know anything about it. This is how they know it to be. Keep you dry and just make you sore. So it's a lot of things there that you have to be. At least I would say in my Liberian English, you gotta have dry faith to talk to your husband or your partner about. Most men who cheating because the women would not want to bring it up. Men would never want to talk about sex with the women. But just see that sitting with the boys and talking about it, you think they are the best super porn star ever. They can talk about all the good things. The one person they're supposed to talk about sex with, actually discuss about it, their wives. I'm talking.
They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't. So you find them outside, doing the extra. Yeah.
Oh well, that was. Jerry, thank you so much. This was a lot of different perspectives coming from you and Amos and Joe. We're just so grateful to hear from you because there's a lot of things that understanding is key too, especially when it comes to sex, because this is God's plan. And that we understood that he says for pleasure and procreation, we got to understand how the two parties involved feel about it. And you'll help us see a lot of things about the pleasure aspect of it. And so when it comes to going and having children, what do you think? And this question goes to both you and Amos. When it comes to involving children and having children, how do you see it?
I got 3 children. And here's the thing about it. my first daughter I was 18, and this girl just came one day and said, "I'm pregnant for you." I'm like, "Why? How?" "Oh, you know you can pregnant a woman now." "Oh, really? How is that happening?" "Well, when you're having sex, you're having ejaculation, the woman will get pregnant." I said, "Oh, okay." So my daughter now is 24 years old. Then my second child, I said, "Oh no, God, I gotta make this right." When you try to make it right with the right person, thinking as some this is the right person, and they turn out to be the wrong person, as a man, you become a promiscuous, useless, unserious person, because society is built to put every blame on the man. No matter what a woman do, the man is wrong. That woman tap you a collar on your neck, you wrong because you did something that made a woman angry. If she shoot you a gun, she snap because you did something that made her angry. No matter what a woman does, the man is wrong. Sometimes we meet people who think that, oh, we're going to be with this person, we have children by them. No. They just want children by you because they want to hold you down and say, no, they got their own person. Children is, it's a very hard one to say because you don't want to make the woman who have time by you to feel like, that's all she wanted. She didn't plan it, you didn't plan it, and they happy. But sometimes when you have children by people, those are the women you hate more because it's like you already plan to be with that person for your children's sake, and then you find out that this person, they turn out to be a whole different person. So wait, hold on, what am I doing here? And you have to leave, and you leaving them, not your children. They will not understand it. Then they will weaponize your children against you to make you look like a bad father or useless or serious human being.
Yep.
So children into those things it becomes different. It's like it's a whole hard thing for us to explain, especially some of us who have them and are not with their mothers. Like, okay, why? And when you give people the reason, so oh, you're making excuses. So I'm like, oh, yeah, we have children, but we broke up. Yeah, it's a normal thing. Because you explain your problem to people, they're going to say, oh, you wrong that woman, man, you're just making excuses. And some people don't understand it. Like, for me, I want a family. I really, really want all my children to be with me. I will die for my children. I don't care what job I do. I don't care what I'm doing, how I'm doing it to get money to support my children. I will do it. And if it means the woman who have my children will benefit from me because they have my children, you will benefit. But know that it's not for you, it's for my children. But most men think that, oh, because you have the children, you married to the woman, you and your children together, it means you're better than people who have the children and left the women. No. Most men can die by staying in the wrong relationship. Most men can live it off themselves. Men's mental health matters, but people don't see that. Some women drive you crazy, and so you see them drinking excessively because of the women they have at home. And you don't want to leave.
That's a very good point you made. Very good point you made.
If I got a bad home, I'm not going to go to eat. I'm going to sit out and drink with my boys till 3, 4 in the morning and kind of sleep.
Oh, wow. All right, Mr. Amos, let's hear from you.
I agree with a lot of those points. I would say all of them, basically, even though I don't have kids yet, but I feel like my reason is probably is God, because I know the way I am, and I know that I always am gonna want to be in my kids' lives. I don't just want one kid with one person. I want us to have a family, maybe like 3 or 4 kids, and I know that I would do anything to make that happen. But that's because I'm at the age that I'm at now, and I don't have kids yet, so I can see how I want it to be. I feel like this day and age, people do weaponize kids a lot. They don't get their way, and then they tend to use the kid as a way to make the other person look some type of way, and that's not always how it is. I feel like that kind of pressure can lead a person, man or woman, it can lead them to change their whole psychology, like their whole way of thinking. It can drive people crazy. It can drive people into depression. I feel like if you don't take your time to learn and know who you're having a kid with, it can probably be one of the worst decisions you ever make, because it's something, if you value your kids, if you care about your kids, then you're always going to want to be in their life. But if the person that you have a kid with, they don't respect you like that, they don't care about you like that, then they can become very cold, and it can make you look at them a certain way. It can make you both pretty much hate each other.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you hate your kid. It's just the way that person treats you. It can lead you into a whole nother state of mind. I feel like something that this generation needs to pay more attention to. I feel like people don't practice that kind of self-control a lot. People they get tempted and they lose that battle a lot. And then you have a lot of people having kids that they didn't even want to have. You have people who maybe are even able to say, I didn't want these kids, but yet here I am with them. But I just feel like it's something that shouldn't be taken lightly. It's another life, and it's something that you should always try to have some kind of understanding before you have a kid. You shouldn't just be having raw sex with somebody and not knowing that can happen. I feel like you need to have some kind of understanding when it comes to it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amos. Thank you so much, Derek. Time is so fast, man. Joe, I know how much you wanted to be here tonight, but the internet and you is already out of time. All right, Joe, put your phone on mute. The background is active. Amen. All right, Joe. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Derek. It has been great hearing it from the men and hearing your thought process behind it. This is an eye-opener. You know, a lot of things that women want to know from men, y'all have really touched on almost every little aspect of everything. So I really appreciate you. We really appreciate you tonight. Even with all the disconnection and everything, we still got the information that, you know, will benefit people who will listen to the show even afterward. So thank you so much, Derek, for going out of your way to be on the show, because you're driving, but yet you are here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you
too. So, Mr. Amos, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. Thank you so much for your input. I mean, you are so knowledgeable about it and the way you go in about it. You know, I pray God will help you to get to where you want to go and to meet that woman you want to meet, so that tomorrow you can have it the way you envision it.
Thank you.
Yes. Thanks to everyone. Thanks, Derek, and thanks, Amos. I mean, I'm blown away. You are, like your mom said, you are beyond your age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the responses that you give. I mean, any woman would be blessed to have you as a mate, you know, as a significant other or a husband.
Yeah.
Okay, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
We just want to thank all of the viewers for today. Next week is the part 4 of the series, and that will be on the women.
Yep.
So if any female out there is interested in coming on to give their point of view, please let us know.
Yeah. So, you know, before the week is over, you will see the guests that will be coming on, and you will get to see where we are and hear what the women have to say about this too. Because today we heard it from the men, and next week we'll hear it from the women. Because trust me, in these times, these are perilous times. You got to guide your life.
Yes.
We are in the end days, and the devil will do anything to drag us down. And sex is one of the simplest way he takes, because he knows it's for both God's pleasure and plan and purpose. God wants us to have fun and yes, procreate the earth. And the devil doesn't want anything that God planned to come to fruition. Exactly. So he attacks that part of our lives in so many different ways, shapes, and form. Guide your heart, guide your life. Stay fervently under the word of God to keep you safe,
Amen to that.
And of course, as always, thank God
God
is
is
fabulous.
fabulous.
So have a good evening and thank you for watching tonight.
Good night.
Good night.